Hello everyone and welcome to the Season 3 finale of Sportsballin. I'm Dylan Simmons, joined by my co-host Evan Snyder and TJ Warner. Let's not delay like the Aaron Rodgers trade and get right into the action. We'll start things off with the Grizzlies, which ended up worse than a Rotten Tomatoes review for HBO Max's Velma against the Los Angeles Lakers. Despite Ja Morant's comeback and 45 points, Memphis was left starstruck by the duo of King James and AD combining for 56 points. There was also another Dillon Brooks thing that may or may not have involved a low blow. With the Lakers' 111-10 victory, as well as a 2-1 series lead, are the Grizzlies done for, TJ?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily look too good for the Grizzlies. They're not necessarily done for. Game 4 is going to be a big decider if they have a chance in the series to hopefully regain home court advantage going back to Memphis Game 5. But starting out a game 35-9 after the first quarter, that is terrible. You're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. You can't start that slow in any game, especially in the playoffs against the Lakers at LA. That's not a winning recipe, and especially when you can't play arguably the best or the second best player ever to play basketball, that is not a winning formula at all.
Definitely the second best player.
I don't know about that.
Number two.
Anyway,
Number one.
I think, honestly, this is rough for the Grizzlies because, sure, LA is a tough environment to play a playoff game in. But you just look at this game in general. Like you mentioned, AD and LeBron popped off, dropped 56 together. And, when Ja Morant's dropping 45 and getting no help at all from the bench or anybody else on this team, and again, we've talked about it multiple times throughout the show, Grizzlies are a team where everybody needs to contribute. And we saw what happens when that does not come to fruition for the Grizzlies. I think, honestly, they're pretty much, in my opinion, kind of done for. Because, sure, if they can win this game in LA and send it back to Memphis, even then, I don't think they really have a good shot because, again, Ja dropped 45 and they still didn't win. And they just looked very, very flat, and they just not playing like the Memphis Grizzlies like they've been playing like the entire season.
They looked flatter than a map. And I'm going to say this, guys. If Memphis, they got canceled in this game like Season 6 of Teen Titans, okay? They were absolutely canceled out. The biggest problem that I saw is that it seemed like nobody besides Ja Morant decided they wanted to show up on this game. He had 45 points, but nobody else had anything above 18. That's not a recipe for success. I don't think I need to tell you guys twice. That's not going to work. Where were guys like Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dillon Brooks? They just
we
did
know what
not
happened
perform.
to Dillon Brooks.
Well, he and LeBron had an incident.
I blame this full loss on Dillon Brooks, too, with the stuff that he said in the media the day before, saying, if you don't score 40 on me, I don't respect you. And LeBron confronted him before the game started and then proceeded to go 35-9 in the first quarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was more of a statement by LeBron than by Dillon Brooks' wrong.
Oh, definitely. LeBron, definitely in playoff time, is not a guy you want to make mad or really talk trash to because, even with his time with the Heat, he showed that if you talk trash to him, you better
it motivates him.
Yeah, it motivates somebody to be ready to back it up. And obviously not hit him below the belt. That's different thing. Granted, Dillon Brooks was kind of going for the ball, trying to take it away from him. But,
he went for the wrong kind of, I'm not even going to go there.
We get that.
We know what that means, okay? So, listen, the Grizzlies bench better stop being invisible like Wakanda or they're going to get wrecked in this series because it's in a bad way right now. Again, they have to perform better. They have to be more consistent because I just don't see the performance thing. This was arguably the worst first quarter in playoff history. It was that bad. It was so bad. The Grizzlies just don't have it right now. And I can't believe they've gotten to this point.
Yeah, and I don't even think it was a completely – scoring 9 points in one quarter is bad. I think Grizzlies shot the ball very, very horrifically. But I don't even think it was the Lakers defensively. I think the Grizzlies –
They just weren't on, and that's the
looks.
issue.
I don't think they had the looks to be beating the Lakers in the first quarter. I think the Lakers definitely outplayed them in the first quarter.
I think they just got outplayed in the end. All right, so we're going to move on quickly here because it's time for the most electric minutes on television because we are about to turn me up with TJ Warner. TJ, take it away.
All right, so we're gonna start off directly with number 5 this week. Number 5 on the list is an LSU spring game moment. Now, if you look at this real quickly, this is Kyron Lacey for LSU. Jaden Daniels throwing that ball. Look at the one-handed catch, but that's not it. He takes it to the crib. How do you think he breaks those two defenders? and goes all the way. You're gonna see a couple more angles of that.
He's got clicks on his body. Look at that.
But like, you know what team he plays for? LSU. OBJ, LSU. I mean,
OBJ.
LSU's known for their one-hand catches.
Jefferson.
Turn me
Jamar
up,
Chase.
Kyron. Turn me up, Kyron Lacey. Hey, the OBJ prodigy right there. OBJ prodigy.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see if he can do that this year, though. Let's move on to number 4. We're gonna get some hockey action. Number 4. We got the Hurricanes, the Islanders in the playoffs. Did you guys see that though? I don't know. Did you? I don't think you caught it though.
Wow.
Look at where it bounced off of. Look at
it go underneath
back
there.
of the goalies off his back to the top corner. Ooh! Turn me up, Jacob Slavin. The Hurricanes forced overtime because of that goal and end up getting the win. That's a big win for them. All right, we're gonna move on to number 3. This is an exciting hole. LIV Golf. Chase Koepka. Look at this beautiful stroke. It's going, and it's falling.
It's not even the best part.
But I agree. Watch.
Well, watch this celebration.
The celebration by the fans. This is called the watering hole, if you guys don't know. For the Grange Golf Club, they call it the watering hole because of what you guys are looking at right now. If they get a hole-in-one, oh my gosh, you're seeing a lot of beverages.
And they had music pumping too.
You're seeing a lot of beverages. That is a very, very, very hype hole-in-one shot there. LIV Tour, they're doing something right. They're getting the ratings up. Hey, Chase Koepka, younger brother of Brooks Koepka. I mean, we know that name a lot. So turn me up, Chase. Turn me up. Good job there. Number 2, we're gonna go a different sport right here.
Lacrosse.
National Lacrosse League.
Lacrosse.
Oh, I don't know if you caught it though. Look, he catches it ricocheted off the crossbar, catches it between the legs. The goalie had no idea where he was going. Look at all the padding he has to. He can't move. I've never watched the National Lacrosse League, but I saw this and I had to put it on. Chase Frazier, he ends up getting a hat trick this game too. Has 3 trick goals and goes on to lead the Bandits for the win in this one. Chase Frazier, have yourself a day. Turn me up, Chase Frazier. Turn me up. All right, let's go to number 1 though. Number 1, this is my number 1 play of the day simply because of the beautiful, beautiful play by the infielders of Vandy. Now they don't go on to win this game, but hey, we're not gonna talk about that. They had the best play of the week. Best play of the week. Second baseman, diving grab, flicks it up to the shortstop, and the shortstop fires at first baseman. Nice scoop too, there to complete the out.
I wish we could have called that.
They never get the credit, but hey, they all deserve credit there. Second baseman, shortstop, and first baseman. Well done, Vandy boys. Turn me up. How about the segment this week, boys? You think that these top plays are just as good as last week?
I think they were pretty darn solid overall. I mean, to me, these plays were Grand Canyon gorgeous. And when we come back, we're going to return Nashville SC's latest debacle as they ended up tying LAFC. And we're also going to be talking Atlanta Braves versus the Houston Astros. All that and more when we come back on Sportsballin.
America, welcome home the brave. The brave men and women who serve their country are coming home. Home to their cities and towns. Home to their mountains and valleys. Home to their families and friends. Home to America. Some of these warriors are coming home with wounds you can see, and some with wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Wounded Warrior Project was created to provide the support these wounded veterans need to ensure their return to America is well-adjusted and successful. But we need your help to ensure that our mission is a success. Help us honor and empower these wounded warriors. Contact us at findwwp.org. America, welcome home the brave.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, pet them, care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can bring them with you wherever you go. You can jump, yell, hide and go seek, play dress up, or not. Go for a walk, or not. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that. But you can adopt one. 'Cause we're connected.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Welcome back, everybody. Nashville SC went blow for blow with LAFC on Saturday. SC was able to combat many LAFC offensive plays and had excellent goaltending from the brick wall Joe Willis. Andy Mukhtar would also score his first goal at Geodis Park of the season in the process. Despite this, however, Nashville could only draw even with LA with a 1-1 tie. Evan, is Nashville SC in a slump right now?
I think honestly they're starting to work out of this slump. Because the past couple games really haven't looked too hot for Nashville SC. And I mean, they tied against the defending champions. And LAFC is a very, very solid team, and they brought back a lot of key players from last season into this one as well. Joe Willis, like you mentioned, had 5 saves, was a brick wall, but you also got to look at LAFC outshot Nashville, I believe, by 8 shots, 9 shots in total. I think it was like 14-6 was around the range, somewhere in there. And really, the ball possession for Nashville is really what killed them in the second half of this game. Ball possession was horrible, turning over at the ball at midfield. It was just really, really bad in that terms, and that's what led to LA to see the opportunity of that and score that goal. It was also nice to see Hady Mukhtar to score his very first goal of the season, the reigning MVP, seeing him back on the score column. But I think, honestly, you use this as a stepping stone to kind of set up the rest of the matches that they do have coming up here very soon, next coming weeks. And it's a good slump buster because, like I said, the last couple games for Nashville haven't really looked too solid. Defense was really sloppy. Offense wasn't able to execute very well. But this game, I think, is really going to be a turnaround point for the team these next coming matches.
Yes, it will, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think Nashville SC was able to do a lot of good things in this game, but really defensively, they didn't have the same power that they've had in past weeks. They've got to get that cleaned up, guys, because they have
mistakes, really.
they've either drawn or lost 5 of their last 6. That cannot keep going on and can't keep moving forward with that kind of success. All right, so the Atlanta Braves got wrecked like the big one at Talladega against the Houston Astros. Houston swept aside the Braves with wins of 6-4, 6-3, and 5-2. In spite of that, the Braves still sit atop the NL East standings with a 14-8 record. Does this series sound the alarm on the Braves for you guys?
Not at all. Not
early in the season still.
Not at all. I mean, if you go back to my hot take, I said the Braves would make it to the World Series. I mean,
you did.
I think that's still possible. I know this game is going to throw a lot of people off. I don't think so. I say slow your roll. Sean Murphy is starting to step up for the Braves. I like the way he's playing. He hit a walk-off a couple weeks ago. I like the way they look. Acuna, he's got his step back. I like the way he's looking after the ACL injury.
There's really no need to panic if you're a Braves fan. Really, the only big thing was Yordan Alvarez, who hit a clutch 2-run single that basically broke this game open for the Astros in general. So other than just that 9th inning, the Braves were basically leading this entire game up to that point. So really, they just dropped the ball on that. Sure, it's tough to get swept, especially at home, but you don't sweat it, you just move on to the next series, and you're good to go after that. Yeah,
that's what the Braves are going to have to do. And again, Yordan Alvarez just terrorized them to no end. Of course, one of the best players in the league, understandable, but Braves have still got some work to do. So the Braves better use some Flex Seal because, as Phil Swift would say, that's a lot of damage. When we come back, we will rev up those Friars one more time because we've got our final Season 3 Hot Takes of the Week. Stay right here.
To pose, now shush. She makes the sound she makes to calm me down. She makes the sound she makes me deep. She makes the sound she makes me deep in the North Sea.
I'm here. Can you see me? Because I feel like I'm invisible. Like this whole place is invisible. If it weren't for the nightly news, no one would even think of this place. But down here, things look different. Down here, our spirits are bright and our dreams are vivid. And if given a chance, that's what the world would see.
In the past 50 years, we've made a lot of progress in smoking prevention. But if we don't do more, 1 out of every 13 children alive today will die early from smoking. That's 5.6 million precious lives we can save. Together, we can make the next generation tobacco-free.
It may be a scorching 98.6 degrees inside your mouth, but we are going to make it even hotter with our hot takes of the week. TJ, what's this week's roast?
All right, that was a weird reference there.
Yeah,
But-
very. But anyways,
but my hot take is C.J. Stroud will be the best quarterback in this draft. And let me go ahead and debunk the first thing you guys can say. Oh, his S2 test was at 18%. The founder already came out and said
It doesn't
those
matter.
no,
Doesn't
no,
matter.
don't
It
listen.
doesn't
No,
matter.
no. The founder already came out and said those are not accurate at all.
Oh, come
and
on.
those scores are not. You don't know how they're
I
released.
hear
Those are not accurate.
excuses.
But anyways, the why?
what's the
Why?
point, though?
Did you watch the Georgia game for this C.J. Stroud? C.J. Stroud outperformed that whole Georgia team and kept Ohio State in there when, without his wide receiver one, JSN, without his wide receiver two, Marvin Harrison in the fourth quarter, without his tight end one, Case Over, without his running back one, and Travion Henderson, kept them in the game with Georgia, the best team, undisputed team, and he just put on a passing clinic all year long. Every single
has the
day.
best weapons
He's
in
the
college
most
football.
he's the
Here's
most
another-
accurate quarterback to come through Ohio State in the last 10 years,
here's another
undoubtedly.
rebuttal. He's
All
an
right.
Ohio State fan.
He is.
That's
This
what
is
it
a
is.
Buckeyes
That's mainly
fan
what it is.
101 right
He's an
here.
Ohio
All
State
right.
fan.
Yeah, all right, but you see what Justin Fields is doing in Chicago? He is 10 times better than Justin Fields in college.
I would
But the thing is,
disagree
though,
somewhat.
I mean, we've seen multiple times though where guys perform this well in college. Johnny Manziel, for example.
But C.J. Stroud, his play style fits the
But,
NFL
hold on,
scheme.
but the thing is, you see a lot of guys who perform very, very well, such
Johnny
as
Manziel,
C.J. Stroud
but
and a bunch of
Johnny-
other guys in the past. Let me finish.
All right.
Has a bunch of other guys in the past.
Getting riled up.
But you see them get to the NFL and they absolutely just fall flat. Now, I'm not saying C.J. Stroud would do that. I just
Name
don't
those
think
guys.
he'll
Johnny
have.
Manziel is not an NFL type of quarterback, though. C.J. Stroud is an NFL style of
But
quarterback.
I'm just talking about guys who played really well in college,
Yeah.
like C.J. Stroud did, and they get to the NFL and they really don't play that good. So
But
there's
here's
still
the thing,
that
Stroud
factor to
wasn't
add
even
into
like a
there.
big winner in college. I mean, yes, he won a lot, and I'll give you that. But this
he
is
went
the
to Ohio
guy
State.
who lost 2 times to Michigan, which I know you probably don't like at all. We also have to think about the fact this guy, yeah, he made the college football playoff, but he never won the Big Ten. He was never able to do that. He got beaten out by the Wolverines. And again, he had so many weapons. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
When you
Garrett
put up
Wilson,
50
Chris
when you put-
Olave.
When you put up 42 points and you lose, that's not the quarterback's fault. When are you going to learn that, though? That's the defense's
That's
fault.
true. That's true.
Well, yes, to some degree, but again, when you have a loaded team around you, it makes
When
it a
you
lot
throw
easier.
when you throw for 6 touchdowns and 0 picks and 500 yards and you lose, you're telling me that's the
well,
quarterback's
all right,
fault?
all right.
Okay, that's
Here's-
not the quarterback. That is the defense fault.
Here's
I
the-
just think C.J. Stroud, it's kind of in the air, though. I think it's a little too early to tell.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing. Bryce Young, I think, is objectively a better quarterback. I mean, we're going to see what happens at the end of the day,
I mean,
but
my dark horse is Will Levis.
That's crazy.
That might
blasphemy.
be even
That's
worse.
blasphemy.
He's
I'm
got.
honest.
They
All right.
said he had one of the
all
best
right,
arm talents
moving,
at the
moving
combine.
on,
I'm just
moving
saying.
on. Evan,
Anyway.
what is your hot take?
All right, so I'm throwing back to baseball. Mine is every team in the American League East will make the postseason or the playoffs. So
Okay.
it's the Yankees, Red Sox, the Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays,
Who are the other
and the
ones?
Orioles. There you go. I had a
Very good
little bit
job.
of hiccup there, but those 4 teams I think will make it. The only one kind of up in the air at the moment is the Red Sox, but historically these past couple of years they've had a slow start. Coming from a Red Sox fan, I've kind of had to live through the struggles of that a little bit, but they can be a playoff team and contender, especially with the veteran guys that they have. I mean, the Yankees always make the playoffs. The Orioles this year are finally kind of done with their rebuild phase, and they have Adley
After
Rutschman.
like a million years.
Yeah, true. It took a while, but they have Adley Rutschman, who's arguably one of the best catchers in the MLB right now. They have Cedric Mullins, who's also one of the best outfielders, I think, also in the American League, if not in the MLB. So you just look at the American League East, it is stacked. But also, too, you have a lot of good teams in the American League this year, such as the Rangers.
You do.
You have the Mariners. You have all these good teams that are in the American League, which will kind of make it hard for these AL East teams to kind of all sneak in.
Astros?
Yeah.
Astros, true.
I don't think this is that hot, but
And
at the
the
same
Rays?
time, it is, because I think 4 out of the 5 teams can pretty easily make it out of the AL East. I think the Red Sox is the biggest question.
Red Sox aren't going to make it.
I think the Yankees
come on.
they always find a way to somehow make the wild card at least. They always find a
True,
way.
and
Yes,
normally
yes,
they get
they
bounced
do.
in the first round, but, you know.
If they make it, yeah. That's,
Here's the thing about the Red Sox. Besides Rafael Devers, who's their big brand name? I mean,
Alex Verdugo?
Verdugo, yes, but I mean, you're
names
not
are
going to
like
see as much in the way of Boston compared to these other teams.
I mean, sure, Boston lost some firepower in J.D. Martinez this past season.
yeah, and they've been
but
cutting payroll like crazy.
True, and I mean, they also picked up a lot of good players this offseason, too.
They've added some
in free
quality
agency.
depth pieces. I just don't think they've got enough right
Adam
now.
Duvall? Even though
Maybe
he
in the
fractured his
future,
wrist,
but
Adam
I don't know
Duvall.
if they've got enough right now.
Duval for the Braves. He was a beast.
And he
was
was
a
a beast
beast.
for us before
He's
he
a
fractured
beast.
Fair
his
enough.
wrist, but, you know. it's
You
all
know,
good.
by this logic, Red Sox will probably win the World Series. So,
Yeah, let's go.
we'll see what happens. But for my hot take, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best in American sports. You heard me. Now, here's what I'm going to say. The Stanley Cup playoffs aren't the most watched, and heck, they're not even the ones that I watch the most because I watch the NFL and NBA playoffs more. But what I will say is objectively, the NHL playoffs time and time again deliver. They're the tip top of their kind, and we see so many great series. We got Wild versus Stars right now. We got Devils versus Rangers. And of course, that awesome Maple Leafs versus Lightning series,
Jets
that's
versus
looking
Knights,
awesome. Yeah,
Golden
Jets
Knights,
versus
that's a
Golden
good
Knights,
one.
whatever your fancy. I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs have more dramatic finishes than Dragon Ball Fighters. It's just awesome. I love it in every sense of the word. I mean, how many great moments have we seen? Raymond Bourque finally lifting up the cup. We've got Ovechkin finally winning it all. We've got Kunitz winning it in double overtime with the Kings to win the Stanley Cup. And, of course, the Penguins winning in the Eastern Conference Finals against Ottawa in Game 7 in double overtime. Need I say more? So many Cinderella stories as well. The St. Louis Blues 2019, Montreal Canadiens 2021, and even the Preds in 2016, as long ago as that seems.
Don't.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
bring
not
that
going to
up,
get into that, but
please.
as I'm saying, it was awesome. And again, it's as dramatic as waiting for the Aaron Rodgers trade to finally go through. It's great. What do you guys
You're
think?
still delusional for the Aaron Rodgers, but honestly,
I think
Off
that's
top.
crazy, man. I
But
think
the-
March Madness is the best playoffs in American sports. I mean,
But it's almost too chaotic, is the thing.
that's
But I mean,
what people
if
want,
you're looking
though.
if you're looking also, I mean, hockey, like playoff hockey, like dude, those guys get into it. Like it's
Exactly.
Even been like NBA
Not only do
Game
you have the
7s,
passion of it,
NBA
but
Game
like
7's a game-winning shot. Like that's intense too. I wouldn't say football's better than hockey.
But with
I wanna
hockey,
go
you
that
can get so
extreme.
many great games in between the Game 7 moments. You don't have to have
True.
Game 7
Like,
to
you
have
don't- like-
awesome moments.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you could have game 2 of the series that goes to a shootout. Like that gets really exciting. The
intense
fans
stuff.
get into it.
Yes.
And also, a lot of these teams also bust out a lot of cool things for even the pregame rituals. Look at the Golden Knights, for example, that have like this huge like visual thing that pops
Well,
up on the ice.
I don't know
You
if
know
I'd
what,
call
the
it
Kings,
cool. Maybe
the
it's
Sacramento
cringy.
Kings
dope.
like the
Maybe
beams,
cringy.
they win the game. I want to see the Kings like the beam and get the Warriors 2 more times. I mean, I would love to see that on Game 5 and then Game 7.
They're a great underdog story, but how often do you get those in the NBA? Once in, I don't know, a decade? Usually it's the same teams, very predictable winning. I'd say it's going to be the same this time, but I'll say this about the NHL. I bet even the Boston Bruins aren't going to make it to the final. That's how sure I am about the chaos
that
reigning
is a
supreme.
hot take in itself.
That's
right
a
there.
hot take, I know, but
They've been
that's
the
just
best-
how
they've-
awesome it
if
is.
if you
been
want
the
that
best
chaos,
team in all
that's
of
March
hockey.
Madness, though. If you want the chaos, it's March Madness for
The,
sure.
the Bruins have been the best team in all hockey. That's a different hot
That's
take.
a different
but
hot take
I'm
for a
gonna
different
agree with
time.
Dylan,
Yeah.
though, with this one. The Stanley Cup playoff is very exciting. It is arguably up there, at least in the top 3 best playoffs or postseason.
I can give you top 3,
spectacles
but
out
I don't
there.
know about best.
I think you have to put it in that category,
It's
though.
teetering
because
up there.
You're not going to have the same predictability. I mean, the NBA playoffs are probably the most predictable in all professional
March
sports.
Madness is the most unpredictable one of all.
I mean, sure. I mean, we
Yeah,
did
but
see
it's
a lot
again,
of excitement
there's
this
a
year in March
certain
Madness.
limit to chaos. It has to be somewhat controlled. With the NHL, yeah, you're going to get your chaos, but you're going to also have some decently good games.
And
I
the
mean,
thing is, too,
and there's a lot of blowouts in March Madness as well.
and
So
nothing's also more exciting than watching 2 dudes just punch each other
Exactly.
during playoffs. In the
it's
in the
awesome.
NHL.
It's awesome.
It is
all right.
amazing.
All right. So, guys, we certainly burned it up this season like Charizard. When we come back, we are going to put on our thinking caps for the final time as we have our picks of the week. So do not go anywhere.
America, welcome home the brave. The brave men and women who serve their country are coming home. Home to their cities and towns. Home to their mountains and valleys. Home to their families and friends. Home to America. Some of these warriors are coming home with wounds you can see, and some with wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Wounded Warrior Project was created to provide the support these wounded veterans need to ensure their return to America is well-adjusted and successful. But we need your help to ensure that our mission is a success. Help us honor and empower these wounded warriors. Contact us at findwwp.org. America, welcome home the brave.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, pet them, care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can bring them with you wherever you go. You can jump, yell, hide and go seek, play dress up, or not. Go for a walk, or not. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that. But you can adopt one.
'Cause we're connected. We're connected.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Welcome back to Sportsballin. It's now time for our picks of the week. First up, the Nashville Sounds versus Omaha Storm Chasers, Tuesday at 6:35. Omaha! All right, TJ, who's winning this?
Give me Omaha Storm Chasers. I mean, I love the name. I love the name.
Cool name, but the Sounds, we go with the Sounds.
Cool name, but they're just so bad. They're so bad.
Cool
so
mascot,
Nashville Sounds take it. Cool name, though. All right, for our next game, our final game, we have Nashville SC versus San Antonio FC, Wednesday at 7:30.
Yeah, give me Nashville SC in this one.
Yeah, San Antonio's USLC team. It's also just round 3 of the U.S. Open Cup, so give me Nashville in this one.
Nashville SC takes this one easily. Guys, it's time to close down this season like all Blockbuster stores, but before we go, we'd like to give some special recognition to a few senior members here on Sportsballin. We've got our audio one in Renee. We've got our camera one guy over there, Aiden, my guy. It's also his birthday. Happy birthday to you. And, of course, our producer, the creator of Sportsballin himself, Houston Chapman. We know you're watching on. Thank you for all your hard work that you've done for us. You all will be graduating at the end of the semester, and we thank you so much. You're true legends that are never going to be forgotten on Sportsballin. So, thank you all so much for watching Season 3, and join us in the fall right back here on Blue Raider Television for Season 4. For Evan Snyder and TJ Warner, I'm Dylan Simmons saying so long and always have an electric night.